After History Center, one thing we did was reconnect with Ken Webster, who was the voice of Come and Take It, which was a podcast that we started before the pandemic. We recorded a good amount of a play that Beth Webster, no relation, wrote for Ken Webster. And we made one episode that was a part of our first year podcast Hatchery. And we love the process of making a narrative podcast and layering on all the Foley. And it was just such a creative, collaborative endeavor and they're short too. They're like 5-7 minute episodes. So after we did all of this client work, we did these virtual conventions for a group of hundreds of therapists. We did the fundraiser for History Center with this feature length movie, that we played for them live so that they could raise funds while people watched it. After all that, we wanted to get back to the stuff that really drives our passions, the storytelling stuff. And Tyler, I think this whole time was kind of like, while we were doing all this other stuff, she was chipping away at chapter 2 of Come and Take It. And then finally we were able to focus on that after February and go ahead and bring that over to the finish line and publish that on the Make Every Media podcast, which is which you can find on any of your podcast catchers or at soundcloud.com/makeeverymedia. And I'm just going to play like 1 minute of the finished episode, chapter 2, that I really love.
That sounds so good.
And yeah, you like it? Did you listen to the?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, and Ken is just such a cozy voice. Like, he's just such a cozy presence that hearing his voice has kind of got that Sam Elliott thing, I just really love, I feel like I can say this in a non-biased way because I didn't touch the production of it at all, but like, it's just so well done. I'm just excited to hear it again.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, it's good to have outside perspective. Yeah. Tyler says, chipping away, patiently biding my time until we could focus on this. So this is a clip that kind of demonstrates the collaborative spirit that Tyler and I have of like just passing back and forth ideas. And it ended up having just like, this was not in the script, but there are historical recordings that made their way into this episode. And I just wanted to share that little segment that has quick rapid fire historical recordings. It gives the narrative like this sense of a place in history, and I love it. That's enough preamble. I'm gonna just go ahead and play a clip from chapter 2 of Come and Take It. And there you can see on the screen, soundcloud.com/makeeverymedia/mem022. The 22nd episode of Make Every Media is episode 2 of Come and Take It. Here we go. Here's a clip.
Well, hell, I was listening.
Oops.
Oh, but in that very moment that Mr. Poole found it, the Alamo flag came to life. And it has been the endless subject of diplomatic pleadings, of requests, rewards, and many thwarted, half-buffoon, half-baked Texas-style hijackings. Why hadn't I heard about this? My mother replied, "You had your head up your ass and weren't listening, dear." Well, hell, I was listening now. She took me through the entire saga. It was a goddamn broken record. Texas desperately wanted the flag back, and Mexico, just as desperate, didn't want to give it back. At one point, even President Dwight D. Eisenhower got involved.
Our purpose is sane and simple.
But he wasn't a Texan, so he didn't last long. In my estimation, Governor John Connally had the best chance, and out of fear, just plain blew it.
In the big leagues of world leadership, they rarely play softball.
Senator Phil Gramm went on a one-man hopeless mission.
I want to negotiate a treaty, and I want to start with Mexico.
It was doomed. The scoreboard was looking grim when George Bush II rode in, thinking with his diplomatic skills and command of the Spanish language, he'd be a shoo-in.
Buenos dias.
Well, not this time, George. We got nothing. Texas had returned many a surrender flag to Mexico, only to be told our flag was lost or it's being restored. One screw job right after the other. That's when my old mother made her move. She brought out a picture of my grandfather.
It's so good. Yeah.
I'm muted again. That's all you get for now. Thank you. If you want to hear more, you got to go to that website up there, SoundCloud.
I'm sure I sounded hilarious. Just so good.
So good. You weren't muted. I was muted because I'm running on a different. Anyway, they don't need to know all this.
That's right.
We're coming up to the last quarter of our show here, the last 20 minutes of our show, I think. And yeah, where are we at? Where are you at? Are you okay?
Am I okay? I don't know. I don't know most days. Honestly. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay. I think that there's such a huge asterisk attached to that like we're all different now. We're 1 year in and we have all changed whether we can track it or not.
Mm-hmm.
But day to day, I'm okay. How are you?
Yeah, day to day, I'm okay. I like that. I think that's a good mantra. Day to day, I'm okay.
Day to day, I'm okay.
I think that's that's the healthiest thing still to do is live day to day right now. It still doesn't feel like we can plan too far in advance. Yeah.
It's so true. It's so true. I mean, with trying to figure out how we approach this evening and sharing what we've been working on, and there was just no way to avoid what this past year has been, right? And it seems like everyone is sort of as we are wont to do with any kind of anniversary, right? That they just seem to be forced moments of reflection. And so it's so fitting that for us this was an update that we had planned, that we knew would be coming even a year ago, right? And we were like, okay, we'll do one of these in June, July, then we'll do one in February, March. And then realizing that the timing coming together with it was around the 1 year mark of the shutdown and this isolated year. And so then being able to see what we've created in the meantime, but then also really taking stock of how it's affected us. And I've read some really incredible articles recently, that specifically there was one in the Atlantic written by Ellen Cushing, and the title of the article is "Late Stage Pandemic is Messing with Your Brain." And there's so much. I'll drop the link in the Twitch chat if anyone would care to read it, because it brought me so much comfort just to see how well she was able to describe exactly how I know I was feeling and how so many of my friends and loved ones have been feeling. The opening line is, "I first became aware that I was losing my mind in late December." And she goes on to talk about the ways that she realized that she's losing things, that she's forgetting words, and what time do parties end? How tall is my boss? What does a bar smell like? Are babies heavy? Does my dentist have a mustache? And so she talked to a few different neuroscientists and specialists. And let's see, Mike Yasa, a neuroscientist at UC Irvine, said we're all walking around with some mild cognitive impairment. Based on everything we know about the brain, two of the things that are really good for it are physical activity and novelty. A thing that's very bad for it is chronic and perpetual stress. So living through a pandemic, even for those who are doing so in relative comfort, is exposing people to microdoses of unpredictable stress at all the time. Says that that stress doesn't necessarily feel like a panic attack or a bender or a sleepless night, though of course it can. Sometimes it feels like nothing at all. It's like a heaviness, like you're waking up to more of the same and it's never going to change. When I asked what the pandemic felt like, she said, like wading through something thicker than water, maybe a tar pit. Time soup. It's the time soup. That alone, I was like, yes, everybody's feeling it, right? And so there's, like just there's another article from NBC News called "A Collective Trauma: New Report Details the Effect of Stress in America in 2020," and the American Psychological Association released a report that was showing how mental health is directly impacting, how the pandemic is directly impacting our mental health, is directly impacting our physical health. Just quickly, they polled a little over 3,000 adults, and 61% said their weight had fluctuated in 2020. Of those, 41% said they'd gained more weight than they wanted to, nearly 30 pounds on average. 10% reported gains of more than 50 pounds. Nearly 25% of people surveyed cited that pandemic stress was causing more drinking, more alcohol intake for them. 67% of respondents said they slept more or less than necessary over the past year. And like it's just so trackable that it's affecting so many areas of our life. But there was, just to go back to that, the Atlantic article, there was something wonderful. One thing that was comforting was that it said, to some degree, this is a natural adaptation. The sunniest optimist would point out that all this forgetting is evidence of the resilience of our species. Humans forget a great deal of what happens to us, and we tend to do it pretty quickly after the first 24 hours or so. Our quote, our brains are very good at learning different things and forgetting the things that are not a priority, Tina Franklin, a neuroscientist at Georgia Tech, told me. As the pandemic has taught us new habits and made old ones obsolete, our brains have essentially put actions like taking the bus and going to restaurants in deep storage and placed social distancing and coughing into our elbows near the front of the closet. When our habits change back, presumably so will our recall. So it's like... okay, we can, like, it will come back to us. We will remember how to function in society. We will remember.
You might. I'm done. I'm done with society.
Yeah, right. No more eye contact for me. I am a little nervous about that one. But yeah, there was some comfort in that for me, just knowing that yes, we have changed. Our bodies and our, even our chemical makeup has shifted because of all of this. But as a species, we are resilient, and we will adapt and remember on the other side, right? We will get back to it. So for this like nebulous, seemingly never-ending time soup that we're swimming in, it's like, oh, but there's the ladder. I can see the ladder now, and eventually I'll be able to get to the other side and climb out of it and shake off this Campbell's soup I'm swimming in.
Yeah. It does feel like there's a ladder now. Yeah, there is an end of the tunnel, it seems. Try not to get too hopeful, but
Yes. And I think that's part of it too, is like just even giving ourselves permission to feel hopeful.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like I can start thinking about the other side of this. I should start thinking about the other side of this.
Right. And I did, there are things that we can plan either way. You know, like this is great. I've had a great time. Yeah.
Same.
Meanwhile, new variant found at UT this weekend. Oh, great, Scooter. Thanks. Ooh. So yeah. I mean, I don't want the IDES to be infinite, but I would do this again with you in a heartbeat. You know, maybe not next Monday, but you know,
We'll take a week off.
take a week off. Yeah. And I'd like to just get more comfortable with this, like, actually live streaming thing. Yeah. The Ides of April is 4/13.
Yeah.
There you go, maybe.
Go.
Maybe. And you're talking about memory and memories coming back to us. And I hope you're right. I think you're right. I have a lot tied up in the concept of memories right now. And I think the last two things that we're going to share with y'all today are both heavily influenced by memory and wanting to hold on to memory and legacy. And yeah, I'd love to just like dive into those next two things, but you know, is there more that that you wanted to address before we get into the legacy project that we're working on?
No, I think that's a beautiful place to jump right in.
Cool. Well, yeah, I think I will cue up this preview. This is a video, and it's also just a preview. Not got much fancy editing in it, but it is about a minute or two of Two Old Cats, which is a legacy project that I am working on with my wife and her father. And I would love to just share that with everyone for the first time now. Sound good?
Sounds great.
Here we go. Two Old Cats, a new project from Make Ever Media.
My name is Megan Moten. I am here today talking to Command Sergeant Major retired Edwin Donald Moten, otherwise known as my dad.
Your dad is one of the most grateful human beings that walks on this earth. I was very honored to be a Command Sergeant Major in the United States Army. I mean, that's only 0.2% of the force is at that rank. And you're talking millions of people. So I understand that. But I do understand it's just a job. It's not who you are. I think the number one thing that I tout all the time is not what I did professionally, but what I did personally. The fact that all three of you graduated with no debt. I'm proud to tell the world that, whether they want to hear it or not. Military couples struggle. There's really not a book that says, how do you raise young kids in the Army lifestyle? When DJ was born, they gave us health care, dental care, housing. The Army helped us, made it possible for us to explore the lives that we have and have this really big foundation of experience. A lot of people provided the foundation for my opportunities that I have now. And I'm going to give back as much as I can, as long as I can. I never imagined that we'd have the life that we have. So I feel very honored, but very humbled because all those people paved the way for me and made this happen for me. I want to be able to turn this idea that we're building so that everywhere along the route, we run into people and we have a conversation with them. I want to be a conduit to two basic things. One is humility and one is compassion. I want to help as much as I can. I want to be just a friend, a genuine friend. I get tickled when my former soldiers still call me CSM on email or Sergeant Major when I talk to them. And I giggle about it, but it's not who I am. It was a job.
You did not set out to serve 30 plus years in the Army.
Oh, no. I never expected the full ride of 30 years. So I was thinking more 20. But what the Army does when you become senior, it gives you instant gratification from your leader development. I could put all my time and energy into a particular soldier, a particular leader, and immediately see results. And then I can do another, and then another. And then you start putting your print on an organization, I saw the difference I was making. It was pretty exciting too. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nope.
Nope.
Yep. Welcome, Megan.
Hi. Thanks for having
Hi,
me.
Megan.
Hey, Amber.
Oh, that's this was the first time that I've seen that preview. I was not present for the recording sessions and haven't heard any of the raw footage, and I'm just even more excited. I've gotten to spend a little bit of time in a meeting with the three of us and Tyler and your dad, and know that he has some incredible stories to tell, but this is just
we thought it would be best to start with him because that the whole onus of this journey is that he's spent 30 plus years serving in the Army and meeting all of these people and who all have so many pathways lead into military service. And so for him to at the end of that time know so many people with so many varied backgrounds, that's that was the exciting part for him, was to have the opportunity to sort of break into that reserve of just lives and people and stories that he has access to, and not just in the Army, but in his own hometown, and then all the people he's met over the years. So we're excited to get started. We've already got a few interviews done with some other longtime servicemen, and we're excited. It's he likes the term it's growing legs. So
growing legs.
in the metamorphosis of it all, it's like right after the tadpole where it's got its little wigglers.
Yeah, it's got some wigglers. This project's got some real wigglers.
It's got some locomotion happening.
Yeah, Scooter says that was so cool. Great idea and execution.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Yeah, he also says the Ides of April is the 13th. Only in March, May, July, and October do the Ides fall on the 15th. I had no idea that the Ides were anything other than the 15th. What does Ides even mean? I don't even know anymore.
It used to mean that it was the full moon. Ides used to be the full moon, but then Shakespeare kind of co-opted that one.
Yeah, Shakespeare was like,
That's
time soup.
That's already fair because Caesar messed up the calendar anyway, so he added in August and July.
Revenge!
So I actually just posted on Facebook, somebody's like, it makes me mad that September, October, November, and December are not the 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th months respectively, and whoever did that, changed that, should be stabbed. Well, I've got some great news for you.
Yeah, I do hope that a new system of time tracking comes out of all of this. Can we just get over the Gregorian thing, the whole Gregorian thing? Can we just move on?
I'm a big fan
it's not working.
I'm a big fan of the Chinese calendar because there's there's the year of the rat and like all the zodiac, but that's also they use that same system for daily time as well. So there was like the hour of the rat and the hour of
right.
That's
yeah, at 2 daylight savings time at 2. I enjoyed it this year because now I get a little more of that golden hour. It's always pushing it. But now we are officially, I think, in Central Moon Time. I believe. Ever since October of last year.
I agree with Scooter though that daylight savings. Politicians need to stay out of time science.
Yeah.
Like it's none of their business.
Seriously.
Right.
Because I think even daylight savings was a prank that Benjamin Franklin, I've heard two stories, one that it's economic savings on candles, and then the other one was that it was a prank because he wanted to prove how petty Congress was willing to be and like to pass these little stupid minutia.
Of course.
So, I can imagine it either way.
Right. Yeah, there is a great podcast about the setting the universal time. Like I think it was for trains, right? Ultimately,
Yeah, I think
so. It was for train. Anyway, I don't remember if it was Planet Money or 99% Invisible or something in between. But there's a podcast episode out there somewhere on the internet.
Yeah.
But Caesar and Benjamin Franklin, top of my shit list as far as time problems have gone.
Yeah.
Then third is Doctor Who. He needs to stop touching stuff.
His rules are a little
wibbly wobbly, timey wimey.
Yeah. What he needs is some wigglers on that TARDIS.